evening and welcome to this Wednesday, September 16th, 1992 edition of EastCast. I'm Elaine Cruz, along with my co-anchor Eric Salzman and sports anchor Mike Furman, and together we'll all bring you this first broadcast of the 1992-93 school year. Due to the week-long teacher strike, students in the Cherry Hill District had a couple extra days off from school. Although school was open on September 2nd, the original first day of school, some students walked out in support of East's teachers who were picketing outside. Some students painted their own signs and picketed to show their strong support. After days of long negotiations, an agreement was made between the teachers and the Board of Education, and on Wednesday, September 9th, Cherry Hill students were back in the classrooms. We hope that this year will be another one of excellence for East in academics, sports, and extracurricular activities.
Once again, the Big Brother, Big Sister program made an effort to make new students feel welcome here at East. Students interested in being a big brother or big sister filled out a card listing their interests and activities that they participate here at the school. New students who wanted a big brother or big sister filled out similar cards listing their interests and the activities they planned on taking place in. Each big brother and big sister had to show their new student around the school and explain to them the activities that go on here at East. Then, last Thursday, the Big Brother, Big Sister program had a party to give the new students a chance to get to know one another. Special thanks to the chair people, Alicia Ravner, Allison Ravner, and Carolyn Maher, who helped make new students feel at home. We welcome them to the many activities offered here at East. The Student Host Hostess program will continue again this year. The program began as an opportunity for East to extend its hospitality to visitors and improve the image of the school. Each day, a senior will sit outside the desk in front of communications and greet visitors as they enter the building. We have received positive responses to the program and thank the students who have helped to make the Host-Hostess program such a success.
During the summer, the library at East joined the technology ranks of most modern libraries when the Dynex Scholar circulation system was installed. Students may now find the location of books on computers instead of index cards. The checkout system will also be different. Materials will be checked out through a barcode system on computer, which allows instant access to records. I was able to speak with Media Department Chair Ms. Peggy Beck about the system. Ms. Beck, now that there's a computer here at East to help students locate books, how will it help them to use the library with a lot more ease?
Right here we have the first public access catalog, which is the screen that students will see when they first search. And we start next week with freshman orientation. They will learn the new system. And then after that, we'll start with seniors, then juniors, and then sophomores to learn this new system. But I'm sure that most of the students will know this before we even teach them. They can search by keyword, they can search by author, or they can search by subject. Very easy searches. But the thing that makes this search a little bit easier is, instead of using the card catalog with the cards, here, if I put in a certain subject, for instance, if I put in the French Revolution, it won't just bring up things that have titles of the French Revolution. It will bring up anything that describes French Revolution in the notes or in the summary or any other field that makes the search much expanded, will make it much easier for students to use. And I think they're going to like this a lot better than going through the card catalog.
I heard that circulation will also be automated. How will that work?
We are in the process of barcoding books. We've done most of the collection, and now we're dealing with books that are problems or books that for some reason have not been cataloged into the system. And we're also working on 2,100 new ID cards. Every student in the building will receive a new ID card with a barcode. And so when the student wishes to sign out a book, it's a very simple system of registering the barcode when it works. Can you hold this? Sure. And we just register the item. And here, I have a book that's overdue, so they won't let me sign one out on my card. But luckily for now, we'll make a few changes here. And we just scan the book, and the book is signed out to me until I return it. So it's quite a fast system, and it's much more accurate than human error. So we're looking forward to opening after freshman orientation for all students, and everyone will have barcodes with IDs, and everyone will have to have them And we'll also be starting a system with book fines. Now that we have a computer that can be accurate, people will be held a little more accountable for their materials. So more on that in an upcoming Cable 18 show.
You can use the automated card catalog to find out information about the rainforest, or you can talk to World Civ teacher Mark Steele, who is on a crusade to save the rainforest. Last year, when his classes began to study about Brazil, Mr. Steele came up with the idea for students to collect money for a group called Nature Conservancy. Nature Conservancy is an organization trying to buy up all the rainforests in South America in order to prevent them from being developed. It costs $35 for 1 acre of rainforest, and with lunch money change, Mr. Steele's classes managed to save enough money to buy 2 acres of rainforest. The acres Mr. Steele and his students bought were from the dense subtropical forests of the Mbaracaru Reserve in eastern Paraguay. It provides shelter for many rare and endangered animal species such as the tapir and the peccary, the only native wild pig in the Western Hemisphere. Mbaracaru is one of the few remaining tracts of untouched forest in an area threatened by population growth and timber poachers. This year, Mr. Steele hopes to expand his efforts and buy even more acreage. Anyone interested in helping Mr. Steele with his efforts should talk to him as soon as possible.
For the last 11 years, the senior class of Cherry Hill East has taken a class trip to Florida, where they visit Disney World, Epcot Center, and MGM Studios. However, at last Friday's senior assembly, coordinator of student activities, Fred Belchikoff, announced that only 48 students have signed up for the trip. If 100 students are not signed up by September 25th, the trip will be canceled. Anyone interested in making the necessary first payment of $150 should see Mr. Belchikoff's secretary, Mrs. Kalista. The total payment for those going on the trip will be $600.
In order to raise money for the yearbook staff is in the middle of planning a miniature and collectible show. Vendor tables are available for $40 each. This is a chance for people to display the merchandise that they hope to sell. Dollhouses, accessories, trains, memorabilia, craft items, and other specialty items will be for sale. So, make some time on Sunday, October 4th. The Yearbook Miniature Show is in Cafeteria 1. Proceeds benefit the East Yearbook. Now over to Mike Furman with this week's sports.
Thank you, Eric. Well, the fall sports season is just around the corner, and all the teams are practicing in anticipation for the upcoming season. All the teams, with the exception of football, have their opening games this week. Check back next week for the results of these games. Come out and show your support for East Athletics this year. Good luck to all the teams and players this fall. And be sure to tune in next week for a football preview. Well, that wraps up the sports. Now back to Eric.
That's all for this year's opening show. For Elaine Cruz, my co-anchor, and sports anchor Mike Furman, this has been Eric Salzman. Special thanks to Tim Brady, our cameraman, Peggy Beck, our creative consultant, and Keith Haynes, our new faculty advisor. Have a great year. Next week, we'll bring you a football preview and details on Higher Education Night. Stay tuned for a repeat run of the retirees reception, which took place in June. Tonight, we leave you with Ophelia, who celebrated her 8th birthday on Sunday. Good night, Ophelia.
Good evening, and welcome to the first edition of the West Report for the 1992-93 school year. I'm Lindsay Melson.
And I'm Adrienne Gum. School officially started on Wednesday, September 9th, even though the semester was originally scheduled to begin on September 2nd. However, the teachers and the school board could not agree on standards for the teachers' contracts. As a result, all the teachers in the district went on strike until a proposal was agreed upon. The one-week strike ended when teachers voted to accept a new 3-year contract. West would like to welcome 7 teachers who are new to the district. In Spanish, Mr. Wilson Colon and Ms. Lou Foley. In English, Ms. Jane Marie Kelly. In Science, Mr. Lewis Korth and Mr. Scott Sweeten. In Math, Ms. Leslie Wallace. And in Social Studies, Mr. Saul Fleeter.
On Monday night, September 14th, Cherry Hill West held a second annual freshman fair. All athletic groups were represented by displays in the gym, and most clubs had exhibits as well. The evening was well attended and very informative for West's newest class. Now here's Dave Marenko with this week's sports.
I welcome everyone back for another exciting sports season over at Cherry Hill West. To begin, the boys varsity soccer team is looking ahead to a very strong season as 9 returning seniors are back from last year's 7-6-1 ball club. At this time, West is ranked number 5 in the Acquirer's top 10 list and is expected to capture the Olympic American crown. Coach Bill Sleeth has named seniors Brian Bianco and John Pearson as the captains. The team should have a balanced offensive attack with Joe Molinaro, Brian Bianco, and Bill Anuzek leading the scoring drive. On defense, senior defensive backs Dan Gola and John Pearson and goalie Tom White should prevent much opponent scoring. Also, big driving forces for West State Championship hopes are midfielders Nick Sasunas, Jeremy Sunkett, Mike Thiel, and defenseman Jake Wilking. Good luck to the team. They play Camden Catholic and Eastern this week. After qualifying for the state tournament last year with a winning record, Mr. McDonald's varsity girls soccer team is looking toward a possible rebuilding season. Seniors Amy Stoner, Joanna Elias, and Nicole Feliciano will lead the team both offensively and defensively. The girls tackle Paul VI and Highland this week. With the losses of Sarah Fox and Cara Romeo to graduation, the girls field hockey team will begin its season this week versus Paul VI in East. The team is once again being coached by Miss Barbara Thompson. Good luck to the team in its quest for the state championship. In his third year of coaching, Ike Smith, looks to have created a winner this year. The offensive attack will be again led by running back Joel Correa, and quarterback Jay Kiefer will be taking over wall climber's position. Also, this year's defense should be very strong with Jamie Gaiman, Garrett Brown, Brian Schmidt, Bruce Barker, and James Keneally on the line. The team still has 2 weeks to prepare for its first game against Paul VI on the 26th of September. Also this week, the girls' tennis team will battle Highland, Morristown, Camden, and Overbrook. The girls and boys cross-country team will race Friday against 5 teams, and on Saturday in the Toms River North International Invitational Tournament. And finally, the boys' gymnastics team will participate in the Devil Classic on Saturday. Well, that wraps up the sports for this week. Now back to the West Report.
Last Friday night from 8 to 11, many students attended the Purple and White dance held in the cafeteria. The dance was a great way to welcome the class of 1996 into West, since the freshmen got in free. Refreshments and a live DJ helped make the evening enjoyable for everyone. Thank you to SGO for a fun-filled night.
On September 12th, Cherry Hill West tried to help out the families of southern Florida and Louisiana whose lives were disrupted by the coming of Hurricane Andrew. West contributed by having a Hurricane Andrew relief drop-off where essential items for the families in need could be dropped off in the Jones Gym parking lot from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm sure that the efforts of the drop were much appreciated by each affected household.
Some students might remember that construction began in the courtyard last year. For a while, it was inconvenient and ugly too. But at last, the senior park is finished. It looks beautiful. Congratulations to the class of 1993.
Tryouts for this year's children's show, Cinderella, will be held within the next few weeks. The children's show, directed by Miss Celeste McMenamin, is scheduled to be performed October 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st.
Reminder to all sophomores, hurry and get your permission forms in for the trip to Great Adventure, scheduled October 3rd. The cost is $18. Tickets are going fast. Don't miss out. The Spanish Club held its first meeting after school Friday, September 11th. If you missed the meeting and want to join the club, contact Mrs. Lopez in E40.
Cherry Hill West mourns the loss of former students Scott Golan, Tricia Kushan, and Shanna Taylor. Over the summer, 3 tragic accidents took the lives of these young people. They will be truly missed by staff, students, and friends.